Did it record? Am I bugging? Yeah, stop recording. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So I'm excited for today's call. We've done a lot of educational style calls in terms of digestion work. You guys get it in the gist of kind of how we do the flow of calls. Some will be more educational, some will be more mental health calls. And some of them, like today, is more so we gotta kick up. And we are really gonna get like some fire under our ass and start training harder, start becoming more resilient. And it's, yeah, a little bit more motivational. And I'm gonna give you some homework at the end, which I think you guys are gonna enjoy a lot. So before we get into it, in the chat, wins. Wins in the past 7 days. What is a win that you have accomplished? Did you hit a PR? Did you do a perfect meal prep? Have you been waking up earlier? Professional win, personal win, like any type of win, put it in the chat. That is my win. My win. So, okay, my win is a little different. I've kind of been off of my practice what you preach, basically, and I've had a very stressful last 2 weeks. So Nicole has been wanting to skip lunch and Nicole doesn't want to eat. And I've been like, I have my food and I know I should be eating, but I can't seem to eat. So I've developed a little bit of a better schedule in that sense, partially because Maria was like, you teach everybody, you're not listening to what you're saying. And I'm like, okay, fine. Thank you for the wake up call, but that was my win. I kind of got a wake up call this week that I cannot be skipping meals. So I've been really happy with the fact that I still prioritize that. So Bethany said I did more than 2 full push-ups. Love that. Ooh, I love that. We'll set a goal, new goal for 5. 5, and then we'll hit the 10. I feel like those are cool little milestones. So I like that. 2 unexpected takeout meals this week and ordered salads both times. Ooh, that's awesome. That is honestly hard. When it comes to takeout, when it comes to eating out, it's honestly the hardest part of the journey. When we're home, it's so much easier, but really when we're on the grind, sometimes we got to make those decisions. So I hope that you felt really awesome after that. Sticking to my calorie deficit, slowly but surely moving my weight down. Awesome, cool. So some wins. Completed 4 out of 5 days of my plan, had been struggling completing them for the last month. Awesome. Okay, these are great. Cool, so we're gonna get into it today. Let me share my screen and close these tabs. I'm a tab girl. If you ever see my computer, like 20. Okay, and good. All right, perfect. So today we are talking about making your body more resilient. Not only what honestly most of this call, even when I got into it, it is going to be a lot of mental, but physically making your body more resilient. I think we've touched base on like, okay, mental strength, you got to push yourself, we got to take care of ourselves, we got to find peace, we got to be productive, we got to keep our mental sanity. But now how can we get to the point where we are also starting to physically be able to push harder and do harder shit and genuinely have a much stronger body, not only in the gym, but just in all areas. So let me open this up. Okay, now where this comes from, our proudest moments come from completing the hardest things. Think about anything that you did in life. It was probably hard as shit that you are super proud of it. You graduated, you got a new job, you finished a project with your, like something with your kids. Any like proud moment that you can think back to, you can even think like, what are my proudest moments? It probably came from a really tough time, like something that you really had to grind through, something that maybe in between you like felt a lot of resistance, but you came out on top, and those come at our proudest moments. Now, why do people stay average? Why can't they overcome hard things? Which 100% is not us. So then we put that as a stay. Now, when things get tough, they panic and they shut down. These are people that don't see the success. They don't have that growth mindset. They're not seeing these progressions in every single area of their life, right? Meal prep goes to shit and they go to shit and the whole week goes to shit, right? They panic, they shut down. Our inner child is always looking for comfort. It is up to us to make sure that we are going above that. They complain, they make excuses, they distract themselves. I have all this stuff to do, but instead I'm gonna grab my phone. I wanna stay on my meal prep, but I'm gonna get a snack. I just need some rest. Like, it's literally everything to not push and not do what is needed to do in that moment. And that's the difference between people that are staying average versus people that are really achieving greatness. Now, we need to trick our brain into doing hard things and making that our new normal. You've probably heard this before. I have to get better at like doing harder things. I have to, push through when I don't want to do things. But genuinely, when you get to the point where your brain enjoys doing hard shit, you become unstoppable, especially when we're thinking of in the gym. All right, so this month's task. 1, we are going to trick our brains into doing harder things. Right, we are going to train our bodies to become more resilient, and we are going to make overcoming resistance our new normal. Why? You all have physical goals. Every single person in this has physical goals, right? What gets in the way of achieving those physical goals, number 1 is life. Life hits, stress, schedule, social settings. Like, we hit this paralysis of like, holy shit, everything is hitting me at once. Maria even put a awesome video in the chat about like pivoting when life goes to shit and when life tries to stop you. So we need to be able to get ourselves up to actually do the things, to continue. Life is stressful, but I'm still going to the gym. I have this event, but I'm still going to do my meal prep, right? I don't really feel like working out right now, but I just hit a PR, right? We need to show up for the gym. We need to prep our meals. We need to do our check-ins. The second thing that gets in the way of achieving our physical goals is you don't lift hard enough. And I've said this so many times, and I will say this until to be honest, 8 out of 10 times we send the form checks or we send form videos, and what do I say? You need to go heavier. You're underestimating yourself. I look at your numbers. I saw Christine split squat this week. I'm like, you're doing 40s, do 45s. The next week she's texting me, I did 45s, I did 50s, right? Sam was the same way. I'm like, you're doing 20s for your split squats, you need to go up. And then it's that same message, oh, Nicole, I went up. We are not lifting heavy enough. And it's okay, because it's a learning process, right? It is 100% a learning process to train our body to actually be able to overcome these PRs that we want to overcome. And how do we do that? Oh, how do I know that? I see your lifts, right? I see it also in my training partners' lifts. And I see it in myself. So even myself, I have caught myself so many times where I'm like, I'm not lifting heavy enough. I could have went harder there. And like, I've gotten so hard into this, especially in like the past year or so, because I drill it into you guys so much that when I don't lift heavy enough, I'm like, fuck, like I get so mad at myself, and I always think of you guys. So now we need to think of our bigger why. Our motivation is not the end goal. It is enjoying the process. So you have this goal of achieving X amount of weight or the body, great, cool. But really the major goal that we're achieving in this is the actual process. So what it feels like to look a certain way versus what it takes to actually get there, to do the workouts, to show up, those are completely 2 different things. Because we see people, great, like she has the body, she's strong, she has muscles, etc. Like, that's where I want to get. But what are the day in and day outs that you're doing every single day? You're showing up for your workouts. Your body has not changed because you just all of a sudden decided to like eat healthier. You are grinding, right? So we've noticed that those are 2 different things. Your goal is always a moving target, right? So it's never really going to feel like you've ever arrived at that goal. Let's say your goal, I was even talking to Via this last month. She was like, oh yeah, like cool, like I hit 30 pounds. I wanted to lose 30 pounds. And now what? And it's like, it's always a moving target. Now I want to see my muscles. Now I want to get stronger, right? So are we going to wait for that goal to really truly feel powerful? Are we going to wait for that goal to really start to show up as the highest version of ourselves, to get stronger, to become more resilient? Or are we going to do that in the process? When you get to whatever body it is, I promise you, you'll be so much happier thinking of everything that it took to get there. And with this, obviously, stagnation breeds destruction. So if we're only ever focused on the end goal, we are going to sit in our winnings and everything's just gonna fall apart. So we need to start proving to ourselves that we are powerful, that we are stronger, that you do not lie to yourself or let yourself down when you set a goal. Do you ever tell yourself that you're gonna wake up at 6 in the morning and then you don't, and you get really upset? Are you more upset because you're a little bit late, or are you more upset because you just let yourself down? There's a big difference there. You told yourself, fuck, I was supposed to leave this event at 6 p.m. because I want to go home and get my meal prep, but you didn't. Are you mad about the meal prep, or are you mad that you just didn't show up? So these are two completely different things. If we become that girl that doesn't lie to herself, that doesn't let herself down, we become unstoppable. We show up and really we just overcome and always continue to see progress. So our goals this month are going to start creating a snowball effects of habits. So you all have goals, and this is going to help you get to your goals a lot quicker. You're going to be more productive, you're going to show up, you're going to work harder, you're going to enjoy the suck. I love that term. And once you enjoy the suck, you cannot be stopped. It's kind of like split squats. I used to fucking hate split squats. Now I love them because they suck so much. And every single time I have proved to myself that I can lift heavier. And in the past year, I've taken my split squats from like 35 pounds to like 55 pounds. I've never seen an increase on any type of lunges, but it's really because I started to enjoy the suck. So I want you to pick something this week that you have to do that is going to physically push your body outside of its comfort zone. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. There's a bunch of them. I know it's this week. Physically make yourself do something that is going to suck, and that is going to hurt, and that is going to make you grind, so that we go through it, we feel it, we love it, we overcome. Who are we after? Who shows up to the gym next? Right? So couple options, there's a trillion of them. Maybe it's this really hard hike. I know it's a week, so maybe you can do it over the weekend. Maybe, and maybe this will be mine, running X amount of miles. I think this was Christine's, when we did something like this last year, she did like 5 miles. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds absolutely terrible. Cold showers every day. That was one that I did last year. I hope I never have to do that again. 5 to 10 burpees every minute, 4 or 5 minutes every day as soon as you wake up. Waking up for the gym earlier. We're gonna set an hour earlier, and I'm not gonna snooze. I'm just gonna get up right away. This one's actually gonna be mine because I just changed my whole schedule, but I always give a little snooze because I love that little comfort of staying in my bed a little bit longer. It feels so good. But we're diving into what's basically gonna suck this week. And how can I still overcome that? So it could be one of these, you can maybe have another one in mind, but it just has to be physically uncomfortable. So like the cold showers, that is going to be physically uncomfortable. And if you do that, you're starting to realize that your body can overcome that, and honestly, you're not gonna die. So where does that translate to? When you're doing your deadlifts, when you're doing your hip thrusts, when you're doing your bench press, your push-ups, when you're tired, when you're doing your cardio, and then you think back to, fuck, remember when you did the cold showers every single day and it like absolutely burned your body and you still got through it? This is gonna be that same exact thing. But we're just starting to pour it into other areas of our life so that we overall just become much stronger. Now, when discomfort strikes, so you're doing the 5 miles. And at mile 3, or it doesn't have to be 5, I just threw out a number, it could be 2. At mile whatever, you realize like, I feel like I'm dying and this really sucks. So when the discomfort strikes, we want it to strike. If it didn't, then you didn't choose something that is hard enough. 1, make sure that you like just do it. So if it's like signing up for something, maybe you want to sign up, there's a 5K in your town this week, or you have to do something, like just get up, just get ready, just do it. Don't think about it. Okay, the cold shower, I would do like a 10 to 1 time. So I stand there and I count 10 down to 1. As soon as I hit 1, I have to step in. So there's no option. I have to step in there and it sucks. Right? Just do it. That's going to be our number 1. So you feel discomfort because you know that the discomfort is coming. Just do it. All right. So similar to how I said, make sure you're grabbing your shoes, grab your keys, count down from 1, like whatever it is, this is the task that you are going to complete. Don't think about it too much. You're not going to want to do it. I promise you. I hope that you pick something that you don't want to do. Right? That's the point. It's just think of it. It's a task and I'm going to complete it. Number 2, explain to yourself your new identity. Because this is what we're starting to tap into. Cool, so like I have to do this hard shit, I'm getting up and I'm doing it. Now, how can we explain to ourselves our new identity? Do not identify as the emotion. So don't identify it as being hard, right? When you zoom out and stop giving it emotion, this is stressful, like I have all this is hard, right? This is what I'm feeling, right? This is what I have to do. So I'm feeling like this is gonna be hard. I'm feeling like this is gonna be uncomfortable. I'm feeling like I don't really wanna do this, but this is what I have to do. So this is what I'm going to do. Right, and when we do that, what we're doing, especially like all the affirmations and identifying as this new version, we're increasing activity, right, in our brain, which is gonna be the problem-solving part of our brain. Rewiring. I do hard shit is genuinely gonna be like rewired into you. And similar to the story that, or the video that Maria posted, we go from being these pity party queens to problem solvers. Right now, when you do all this hard shit and you're consistently forcing yourself to do it in the gym, to wake up in the morning, to do the meal prep, when life hits and everything goes out of whack, now we know how to pivot. Now we're able to take a stressful situation and, oh shit, that just happened to me. Okay, take a breath. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do to overcome. My week just went to shit. How am I gonna get all my workouts in? Oh, pivot. This is what I'm gonna do, right? We are not pity party queens, we are problem solvers. So remind yourself and identify that I do hard things before you actually go into whatever it is that you wanna do. At the beginning of the lesson, I mentioned about like average people that don't succeed, that don't see these results, that don't get stronger. Remember that I put the word they. It is not you, it is not us. This is they, you are not average. So here, identifying as I do hard things, and when you're talking about things like this is not you. How we identify becomes our reality. Next thing, so one, just get it going. Two, I do hard things. Next one is gonna be reframing. Right, so when you lift, you can interpret the struggle as a sign of weakness, or you can interpret it as this will lead my muscles to grow. This will get me stronger, right? If you've ever done an assessment, I've gotten this before, I honestly haven't gotten in a while, but like, it'll be like, the single leg hip thrust, like I'm so weak. I'm like, you're never say that ever, ever, ever in your life again. I change a lot of language because we do not identify as weak. That doesn't exist. You're strong because you showed up. So if something is very difficult for you, it's not because you're weak. It's not because you can't do it or you're not there yet, right? This is what's needed in order for me to get to the next level. And this is how I'm gonna get stronger. So reframing that this is an opportunity to practice my emotional regulation skills and develop mental toughness. When you're on the run, you can say that to yourself if you can remember it. So we need to reframe and view that discomfort as beneficial. Instead of running away from it or ignoring it, take it as, we take the discomfort, we create more action, we become more resilient, we become more productive, right? And this is where I bring it back to like my split squat. The discomfort sucked, and I always used to tell myself, I hate this exercise, it sucks, it's so annoying, XYZ. But how can I start to view that discomfort as beneficial? I need to feel this right now in order to prove to myself that I'm stronger, to get my body results, to show up in the morning, to show up for my meal prep, to show up for my family, to show up for my kids. It all is gonna tie together. So that's how we're gonna reframe and reassure. Always reassuring when you're in the cold shower. Discomfort is temporary, just like anything else, this too shall pass. When I do any sets, if it's 3 sets, at set 2, I'm like, I'm basically done. Like I just gotta do this, I'm done already. And I know it's about to be like the hardest thing ever, but I'm done. So it's fine, right? The little things that I like to do, right? I always tell myself like, also like, fuck, like I'm really doing this right now. Especially like during my reps that I don't really like, I'm really doing this right now. And reassure yourself that you are the strongest, most in control badass woman ever. However you want to say that to yourself. I honestly curse at myself all the time in the mirror. I'm like, you are that bitch, you're the strong bitch, like you are in control right now, you're gonna move these weights. I love how Hillary said it this week about like talking to her weights, like get ready to move, like whatever it is that you need to tell yourself, reassure yourself of that as well. It's gonna help you. I'm strong, right? This discomfort is beneficial. And These are all, again, I tied into every single aspect, right? When it comes to the 2 mile runs, the cold showers, that's gonna trickle on to just doing more and more and more and more. So the hikes that you wanna do when you eventually like, you wanna take this crazy adventure. I did a 6 hour hike one day and it was like a volcano in Guatemala. I've never done something like that in my life, but because I did a 10K Spartan, because I did a 5K Spartan, because I ran 2 miles, because I did the cold showers, it all just proved to me, it's just one rep at a time, just one step, one step, one step, and then 6 hours later, I'm still taking steps, but obviously eventually get to that point, right? So again, here are a couple of examples. If you want to pick one of these, I don't mind which one you pick. If you have another example, that's fine too, right? Your goal is to obviously do it. When you do it, post it in the group, let us know how it went, right? If we can, if it's like, let's say like the running or like doing something like really, really hard, that's fine, you can do it once. If it's cold showers, do it every day. If it's like this, or waking up in the morning, do it every day. So it kind of depends on what you pick, but if it's obviously something like a cold shower, I don't want you to take one cold shower. Honestly, that's too easy. It's, so if we can start to like level up, but I trust you in terms of that. Again, when discomfort hits, this is how we are gonna do. Just get started, remind yourself, I do hard things. Discomfort is beneficial. And I am the strongest, most in control, badass woman ever, whatever your affirmation is, so that we can start to move past that. And of course, where this is all, one of them is so loud. Okay, I think it's that one. Cool, where this is all going to lead to, this is gonna be homework number 2, cool? So you're picking one of these, right? And then I want you to pay attention to your training this week, right? How can we start to push in that discomfort? Where you're doing an exercise and you realize like, fuck, I can go heavier. I'm actually, especially like, I notice it in first in like my goblet squats. That was one where I was like, holy fuck, this is like really hard, but I'm realizing it just burns. But I can go harder and I can go heavier. So start to pay attention to that. Let's see how many PRs you hit. That lat pull down that you're pulling and it's difficult, can you go up genuinely? Right? Can we go up on that squat? Are we being nervous? Are we playing into our comfort zone? So those are gonna be your 2 homeworks. One is obviously doing something that is gonna just kind of suck, great. And 2 is paying attention to it and your lifts. How can you start to enjoy that pain that is going into your muscles? Cool. And that is it for today's call. I like this little one, it's cute today. Remember that food is love and strength is power. And this week, something that you pick is gonna suck, but you're gonna fucking love it. Cool. Any questions? Becky's thinking here like, fuck. Why'd I come to this call? Any questions that we would like to share? Any, you could put in the chat if you've snowballed already, what is gonna be your hard thing for the week? I think I'm gonna do 2. One is gonna be the waking up on my first alarm. And I do wanna go for a run. The waking up, surprisingly, the waking up for the first alarm is gonna be harder than the run that I'm gonna take, but I'm gonna do those 2. Drop yours in the chat if you have one. Let me set my alarm for tomorrow. Fuck. No snoozing my alarm. Ugh. I'm like feeling your pain. I thrive off of those extra 10 minutes of like coziness where you like, ugh, but it's okay. It's okay. If we can wake up on the first alarm, there's a whole lot of shit that we can show up to. Anybody else want to drop theirs in the chat if you have it? I'm trying to think of like more ideas. Those are, if you have any other ideas, you can also drop them. I just kind of put some basic ones. And while we are brainstorming, does anybody have any questions on the, like anything else? Anything that's come up this week? Increasing my incline percentage. Ooh, love that. I'm like this close to it incline bench PR. But my gym is missing one weight, so there's a massive gap. And in order to increase, I have to like jump a lot. But I'm there, I'm close, so I like that one. Wake up with my hubs at 5 AM and take a 20-minute walk. Love it. We doing first alarm too? Yes. It's gonna suck. That's the point. I genuinely want you to feel that discomfort in your body. I know for sure like that, just getting up, it's hard, but getting up on the first alarm is like, your body is frazzled at that point. So let's make it harder. Cool. No questions, I can let you go. If you think of a new one, whenever you do, whichever one you do this week, put it in the chat, let me know how you feel. I will post mine tomorrow. And yeah, I'll let you guys know, but I'm gonna be doing it for the rest of the week and honestly, like keeping it a habit. 10 squats every 45 minutes during working hours. Ooh, that's tough. I like that. I feel like mentally that would like kind of fuck with me more and I kind of like it. Mentally, I'd be like, oh fuck, and just like kind of do it. I like it. Cool. Awesome. So we'll leave it at that. You have two homeworks. One, do something that is really gonna suck. Feel it, like it, enjoy it, push through it. And two is how can we start to do the same in workouts? And let's see if we're hitting any PRs this week. Cool. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a wonderful night.